Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. I hope all of you are keeping well and safe. Now in today's video we're going to go back to the more current event or kind of general discussion. And in the last couple of videos I've been discussing football and Chelsea content, but we're going to move away from that now for today's video, and we're going to talk about something that's close to me, and I think a lot of people in Ireland, certainly around my age, even in this generation, not even just this generation, but generations gone by, but I think more so kind of relevant to my generation and what's been kind of happening over the last couple of years. We're going to talk about mass emigration, and particularly mass emigration amongst the younger generation in Ireland nowadays, because it's something that's been on the rise for a couple of years now, which I've certainly noticed, and I'm sure most people around the country at this age have noticed too, if not have even delved into it themselves. So many people in their kind of late, mid to early 20s, or even after they've left school, secondary school, have left the country, whether that be for a couple of months, for, just to try and experience of living somewhere for that period of time, or even shorter, or have moved, indefinitely and have no plans to come back, moving to places like Australia, Canada, even the UK, Spain, America, all these different countries around the world, that so many young Irish people have moved to for, an opportunity to live and to experience the world and to have that independence that you get once you become, or when you leave school and go into your 20s and stuff like that. And me, it's something I'm very keen on doing at some point in the near future. And I think it's something that most young people should definitely, have an eye on doing. It doesn't necessarily mean they have to, or they have to move forever and not come back, because that's just, it's a bit naive to think that way. But I think it's something that most young people should have in their mind, or should be at least tempted by the idea. And I think the reason I come to that conclusion is probably because of the way Ireland is at the moment, especially for young people. The opportunities that we have here are very limited in terms of, affording housing, study, work. It's just all become very difficult for young people in terms of, obviously there's a housing crisis within the country at the moment, rent prices, and even if you're lucky to buy a house, the prices have just skyrocketed, and it's completely unaffordable for most people of our age, because we would be the age that would be kind of looking to, in the next 10 years or so, look to buy houses. And to be quite honest, for a lot of us, if not the majority of us, it most likely won't happen, because we won't be able to afford it, whether it be rent or buying a property yourself. It's just very, very unlikely. And then with college and stuff like that, you look at the prices of some, fees to go to your UCDs, your Trinities, your DITs, your whatever. And for those who aren't Irish listening or watching this video, those are colleges within Ireland, or Dublin specifically. The fees to go there, how long you're spending there. Some people can do 4, 5, even 6 years in these colleges to end up doing a job that they, ultimately might not, give them the opportunities that they want here, to have their own house, to live independently, to use that to a social advantage as well. I discussed nightlife in Ireland in a previous video of how I think that's rapidly declined over the last few years. And then tying in, how long you're spending in, third level education, the the housing crisis, the cost of renting, and then, all of that stuff tied in has just made it very, very difficult to live here. And that's why you're seeing so many young people go to your Australias, your Canadas, the countries I listed already, is because those countries give opportunities for young people. In Ireland, and this is just a personal opinion, I feel like this country has prioritised the elderly, population. I think if you look around, in some states and just around, places in Ireland, there's a lot of elderly people, and of course, that happens around the world, but I feel like it's very prevalent in Ireland over the last number of years, and I think the government and I think just the country as a whole has prioritized them, their health, all that kind of stuff, which I understand it's a massive part of how a country should operate in the right way, but it shouldn't come at the neglect of young people and the opportunities that they get, because we're only starting off in life. We're learning all of this as we go. And if those opportunities aren't present, look, we have to work for them, and we have to want to have these opportunities and to want to have our own places. Of course, that should be a given, but you can't have one without the other. You need the support and, the kind of environment to do that, as well as the will and, self-discipline to do it too, from like our like a young person's point of view, while also getting the support and the opportunities from the government and just the country in general, which I do not think we have at the moment. Us as a young generation, as I mentioned previously, have little to no chance of being able to live even relatively comfortably here unless you have one of the highest paying jobs within the country. And for people studying in, third level education that, are just like, let's say, doing business management or journalism or anything like that, those jobs I think will only get you so far in this country. Whereas in the likes of Spain, even the US, stuff like that, you do those over there, the opportunities are so vast, and there's more support in those areas for people to live their lives essentially. And that's the kind of mindset that I'm in. I think I was studying journalism when I was in third level education. I'm going back to third level education at the end of this year to do digital marketing. And I found journalism a very niche subject, especially in Ireland. It's a very tight market to kind of get into. And the more I was doing that, and I really enjoyed journalism, I enjoyed doing it since I was 16, hence why I was doing it in college and stuff. I found that the opportunities here were very slim unless you know people, have good sources, have connections and stuff like that. And then obviously if you're working for like the top media companies, your RTEs, your, any kind of news outlet, Irish Independent, whatever it may be. So I found myself as I was getting older and studying this, that maybe I couldn't pursue it here. And I'm sure lots of other people in other scenarios and other areas of, kind of topics that they study have found something similar, where the market is so small here and the opportunities are so small to actually pursue it, get a job out of it that you enjoy doing, and being able to live happily or comfortably in Ireland. I just don't think it's going to work, certainly at this moment in time, for young people in Ireland. Now, I wanted to go to Canada for a long time. I've also had Spain in the back of my mind too. Spain has a very good kind of journalism scene. So for me personally, that would be a good option. But Canada as well, because one of my friends is living over there and he's spoken very highly of it. I've been out there and visited myself. It's a beautiful country. And I just think, obviously, as I said, I encourage people, young people, to go and travel, visit, see the world, live, study, whatever, in these countries or just abroad. But it's also sad to see, because I think most people would want to live and be happy and be solid and have a good foundation within the country they live in and where they're from. And I would love that. I think if the opportunities were here, and if, it was more feasible for young people, I would happily live and work here. Of course I would. I'm Irish. It's my home country. I wouldn't want it any other way, but I think it's just inevitable at the moment. And I think a lot of people can probably agree with that. So it's an interesting topic. It's an interesting subject, because I feel like a lot of people will probably agree with this and kind of have their own kind of personal point of view, or even experiences of traveling, and like the differences from trying to study and work and live here compared to abroad in different places. So it's always interesting to see this stuff. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at that for this video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please drop it a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and enjoy the content. And there will be a new video out next week. So I will see you then, guys, and take care.